Hi, I'm Jess Hallock. I have a salon in Gilbert, Arizona. I started doing hair 7 years ago and started with HALOCOUTURE 6 years ago. I started in my home and then went to a studio, expanded my studio, and then I opened my salon in 2019 and then expanded in 2020 right before the pandemic. And I was so thankful that I had been doing HALOCOUTURE prior for so long and working on building an online community so that I could lean on that when the pandemic came around. When the pandemic hit, just like everybody else, I wasn't fully prepared of what to do with my salon. We had to close and we only had online available. So I was thankful that I had been building an online community that I could pull from, and I was able to just pivot my business to an online model. Doing halos, it was a visual thing. It was something that I could educate and explain easily online. So building that relationship online made bringing my business to this virtual model a lot easier, and it got me through the pandemic and honestly saved me while we were closed. So when I started carrying HALOCOUTURE, it was never with the intention of always having it just for my clients. I thought this was a service that would broaden my clientele, and it was an opportunity to meet more people but not have to do so much behind the chair. And I feel like as a stylist, that's always what we're combating, is how do we build our income and not spend more time. And having another option to diversify gave me a different perspective. And also, when I was thinking of who can I reach physically in person, it's a much smaller percentage than the sea of people online. But because of how many people there are, it was still making a big impact on my business. And so when I thought with the intention of building a client for life but never seeing them in my chair, it helped me pave the way of what that experience would look like for a virtual client. I wanted to be able to cross-promote between my businesses and have the ability to pivot to something different and still be able to pull from that audience. That's why I've always led with education first. I've always made myself available to my HALOCOUTURE clients. I've always spoken to just how do we take care of our hair, the emotional side of extensions of how it makes you feel, and that alone makes them feel like I'm their friend online. And that is priceless and something I can pull from 6 years ago to just a few months ago, and creates a recurring buyer that has created a secondary income that I can really lean on. So when I went virtual, my main reason that I went that direction honestly started because I was a traveling stylist. A lot of people I feel like are doing that, where they go back home and they'll see clients that they've seen before, or maybe they'll just get to go around the States and meet different people. And I loved that connection and experience, that I could see people outside of my sphere. And I wanted to maintain that connection while I was home. So it originally started from a very real place that I needed to maintain my clientele somewhere else. And when I got to that point where I was trying to figure out how to do that, is when I was creating content that they could reference back to, and also have the content not be so curated. I wanted them to feel like I was still their stylist. I was still their friend. I was just on the other side of the screen. And so it started with me just like recording in my car or in my studio with the door shut, no one saw me, just so I could have that genuine connection through the screen. But I started really simple of, you know, why would you want thicker hair? And you automatically know I'm talking to somebody who has fine hair, who maybe has struggle styling their hair. So I just started with simple tutorials of how to style fine hair, what products to use, and then naturally providing extensions with that was just a seamless conversation. And applying that same format and principle to the different stages of why you'd want to buy a HALOCOUTURE piece from a distributor is where I went when I was trying to make my plan. Another thing to keep in mind is that when you have just a few hundred followers, I know I got so caught up in this is daunting. Where do I start? I don't have this great, huge platform in your mind that I can pull from. And then my husband would honestly remind me, when was the last time you had 100 people in the room that all wanted to listen to you? It's that simple. And then what kind of a message could that many people digest at once? Keep it very simple. And honestly, the more simple it is, the more they're going to come back to you, because you taught them something that they can reference back to. So when you want to sell them something, they already have this baseline of trust. And that's where I started from, and I constantly am building to gain a bigger clientele and raise that expectation so that when I provide HALOCOUTURE, which is so grand, this is where we're heading, it's an easier sale, and the trust is there, and they already have this basis of knowledge because they've been with me for so long virtually. It gives me a win-win on both sides. One benefit to carrying HALOCOUTURE in the salon is not everybody carries it. And it's something that we can cross-promote, and I can help other stylists. I have been so surprised and pleasantly surprised how many referrals I've gotten from other stylists. And it's almost relief in a way, because not everybody wants to provide everything, and a lot of people are doing permanent extensions, and maybe their clients just want to take a break. So to be able to offer a service and give them an experience that another stylist knows is perfect, they're happy to refer to, it's given me more of an abundance mindset between stylists versus feeling competitive, which is really refreshing. And as a salon owner, it's brought our community closer because, like I said, we don't all carry the same things. So as a small business, as people who want to just help each other out, it's been a great opportunity to bring us together, to share clients but not feel like we're taking them away, because my objective is to diversify and their objective is to keep their client coming back to their salon, and that happily keeps both those things happening. I'm sure many of us can relate to feeling overworked. Where am I going with my career? I love what I do. I love working 12 hours behind the chair, oddly enough, but what else? And oh, I have a family and I'm a wife or a husband, and what defines success for me, and what's my currency of what I'm doing? And I feel like a lot of us get to that space of, it's time. I want more time back, or my time is valuable, and how do I build the value in the time that I have? And I need to change what I'm doing. So why I started doing HALOCOUTURE and building that value online was so that I could have more time. I have been blown away how much my income has tipped the other way to favor online. I started to realize that if I put out quality content, if I was referencing back to what's the conversation I'm having while they're in my chair, I know we have all day, we have an hour to talk about what's important to them, what are those specific things, so that I can make digestible content that they can feel like they connected with, and then if they've watched enough of my videos or they've read my emails, that when it comes to buying, it's so much more natural. How we get there? Start really simple. I've noticed what's worked best is to not even talk about extensions. Where you want to go with the conversation, don't start there. Start simpler. Start with a need. Start with, I understand you. Let me help you. Do a poll on your Instagram and say, what are your biggest struggles with your hair? What can I help you with? It'll always be, how do I go longer in between washes? How do I make my hair thicker? How do I make my curls hold? I'm pretty sure extensions answers every single one of those things, but they're not there yet. So I start with product-based videos where I say, this is what makes your scalp oily. This is how you can build up your time in between washes. Oh, we want to make our hair healthy. Maybe we should take out permanent extensions, give our hair a break, and we're going to work on, the care that we're using, the supplements we're taking, go that route. And then go tutorial route with a how-to of these are the products you use to curl your hair. This is how. And then after they've gone through these videos and invested 3 months, 6 months, a year, you don't know at what point they started following you. Then when I say I have these extensions that does all those things, it lets you go longer in between washes, it's giving your hair a break, and your curls hold so much longer because the extensions are doing the work for you. We've built this relationship. It's so natural. Now I can say, hey, do you want this? We've built trust. It's going to solve your issues. And regardless of price point, they're so invested that it makes perfect sense. As a stylist, starting in this whole industry, I feel like everyone has the same thought. How am I going to penetrate this market? How am I going to be different from the thousands of other stylists there are? How am I going to build my clientele? And the answer is always really simple. Someone will say, you're great. They want to hear it from you. They just believe in yourself, kind of a thing. And it really is that simple. When I've tried to figure out what would I look like online, and you can get caught up in the details and how it looks and the numbers and all of that. But when you start with, what's my superpower? What's the thing that when they think of Jess, is it charisma? Is it my wealth of knowledge? Is it being relatable? Is it just being available? Is it that 5-minute friend in the DMs? What is it? And start with that. Building yourself up as a brand is what's going to give you the flexibility to pivot regardless of what product you're selling. And that's what you want to build up so that you can have that flexibility with your time always, and you're never pinned down to one thing or one industry because they're so invested in you. Those things go hand in hand no matter what you're selling. Like I said before, when I started recording myself, I was in my car where no one would see me because that's when I felt the most like myself. It's very different when you're talking to a screen versus talking to a client. It's a lot more natural. But when I could do that and just channel my inner self and jump into those shoes, it came through so genuinely, and that's where I've always pulled from when I'm creating content. Building a brand can sound very daunting. Where to start? We've talked about a lot of different things of keeping it really simple, channeling who you are, maybe ask your friends, when you think of me, what are those things, and just start from there. But at the end of the day, no one is going to take you as seriously as you take yourself. And I've had to remind myself of that constantly when I feel like I'm almost being an imposter, and why would someone buy from me online? And for our industry, this is so different. This is new territory, and it's honestly exciting once you start to get feedback and you get that confirmation from someone who's bought from you that they had that experience. And you're like, Julie in Arkansas, we're best friends and I live in Arizona. And having that same experience and then channeling that for everything you do forward is what makes this so rewarding and so exciting. And the benefit is that you're going to make a lot of money selling extensions. But embracing this new model as a professional is where we're headed. We can see people behind the chair. We can still build our businesses. This absolutely brings people into my chair from all over the place. I've been so surprised who I've met when they come into town. We're getting our hair done way less than we used to. So I have a lot of out-of-town clients now that I didn't before. So like I said, I've been able to cross-promote. This goes hand in hand with no matter what I have been wanting to provide and where I've wanted to go with my business. So if you're at this place in your business where you're wondering, where do I go next? I need more. I don't necessarily want to invest more time. Maybe I don't want to raise my prices, but I'm obviously here looking for something. Take the moment to grow, to jump into this. Find someone that you're inspired by. Go to my Instagram, my YouTube channel, my website. I have started from scratch. I've never deleted anything. You can see my first video, which by the way, my first video where I thought I was terrible and so uncomfortable is still my highest performing one. People connect with someone being authentic and genuine. And if you just take that first step, your audience is going to reward you for that. They're going to show up for you. It is so empowering to put yourself out there as long as you're being yourself. When I was building myself up as a brand and looking for things to carry and what I wanted to provide to people, I have loved HALOCOUTURE. Again, I wanted an experience where they'd keep coming back, and HALOCOUTURE has so many pieces that work for the same person. It's easy to do. The install is really simple, and it's also something that I've been able to convey online. I can address the little steps that they're going to need to incorporate. I've made tips videos, how to blend, how to place your halo. It's a very user-friendly product that it's been perfect for a virtual consultation. The different pieces that they have given me a very broad audience to work with. My favorite piece to begin with is just the halo, the original, the layered. Do you want to add fullness? Do you want to add length? Both? Where are you at? Have you worn extensions before? Am I giving you a break from the hand tights that you've been doing? Are we in repair mode with color? I can talk to people about all different things, and that's what's made the consultation so different and the type of client that I'm trying to bring in different stages. So they have a 16-inch, 12-inch, 14-inch, 18, 20, 22. It works for everyone. They also have a ponytail, a fall, and a bang, which has opened up a completely different market that I normally would have been very intimidated by, because it's people who want coverage for their hair. They might have some premature alopecia, they might be having a hormonal reaction and it's thinning, or they have some bald spots, and giving them a piece that makes them just light up is why I do this. I have a few members on my team, and when they get to connect with people virtually and they have that same light up moment through the screen where we get a message and I received my halo and it's perfect, the color match is perfect, my husband didn't even notice, I feel like myself again, I'm no longer shy to walk into a room and feel like everyone's staring at me because of my thin hair, or I had long hair when I was younger and now I have that back again. Connecting with people through those stories is so rewarding that not being with them right behind the chair is totally fine. I love all the different color blends of HALOCOUTURE. The quality stands by itself. I can lean on them as someone that can service all the products that they have. I can lean on their quality. Their marketing is on point. It's a great brand to work with. And that's another thing, if you're investing so much in yourself, you can appreciate a brand that does the same thing for themselves. If you haven't tried these extensions before, I would highly recommend getting one for yourself, playing with it, record yourself putting it on. What are the things that were hard for you in the beginning, and what was easy? That'll help you create content that people can connect with. But when you feel that piece on you and it just looks better, I love my hair without it, but with it in my hair, I just like it better. I wear one every single day. I have every single one, and it's so fun. It's an accessory. That's another benefit to the market now, is extensions aren't a secret. It's not like Botox, like, oh, let's not talk about it. It's an accessory, it's cool. So getting them to buy one that's just for fullness, all the way up to adding 10 inches to their hair, they're all for it. I love HALOCOUTURE. I love the support I've gotten. It's been 6 years. I'm always going to carry it. And the experience that my clients are having because of the quality of their product is priceless.